Hi everyone, it's Vivian back again and welcome to day one of our Cocooned at Home Wellness Retreat. So each day I'm going to give you tips and action steps of what you can do and how we can all cope better throughout this situation. Now everyone's stressed and anxious and it's hard not to be. We can't visit family, we can't go up into the national parks or any of the reserves. This week I had planned on disappearing bush for a while, but that's been canned, so let's just get through this the best that we can. Life as we know it has totally disappeared for at least the next 30 days. If not longer. So we need to prepare ourselves that it could actually be for longer. Hopefully not. When we're under stress, what happens is, to simplify it, is you have increased levels of cortisol. So that's our stress hormone. When you have increased levels of cortisol, your IQ goes down. That will explain some of the things that are happening at this stage. So just be aware you don't think as well as you do when everything's working well. As well, we actually increase the carcinogenic factors, which is also, we have issues with reduced immunity. And that's the digestive factor, so I'll explain that a little bit later. We also reduce our estrogen levels for us women, and that leads to weight gain, and let's face it, who wants that? So let's try and reduce the stress. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that in this first session, because I'm going to elaborate as we go through, so everything is interconnected. But I wanted to, for today, to give you some simple little coping mechanisms that can give you a little bit of a breather, take a step back and start to look at things a little bit different. What concerns me about this is mind-body medicine has found that there's a direct connection between stress and cancer. They have found that there's usually a significant emotional event up to about 18 months beforehand. And I've asked my clients that have had cancer this for years, what happened up to the 18 months leading up to your cancer, and just about every occasion they can pinpoint what the stress effect was. So if we can handle our stress, it's going to be very, very important in the long term. We're all in it together, so we're all going through the same thing. How do we manage stress? So normally when I talk about stress, I talk about chemical, about physical, as well as emotional. But at this stage, a lot of it is more emotional. And mind-body medicine has some amazing research that they've been doing in that regard for quite a lot of years now. I don't know if anyone has read this, although it's probably back to front by the looks of it. Quantum Healing by Deepak Chopra, and I was looking, I've had this for absolute years. I did give a copy to one of my clients and never got it back, so I went and tracked down another copy. He will explore the frontiers of mind-body medicine, and this was back in 1990, so you can see how long I've had this book. But as an endocrinologist, he tracked our thought processes down into the chemical cascades that carry on through the body. So a happy thought will create a different cascade to a negative thought. And what I'm going to put up in conjunction with this is Dr. Emoto's got a little video. For those who don't know him, he researches water, and with water, he's been able to look at the effects of the water crystal when certain things happen to the water, and even verbally talking to the water, and he's done so many different experiments, and that's really interesting to see. So I'm going to put up a little video after this so that you can actually see that correlation between what happens in our mind and the physical effects of the body. It's so important that we can actually get those happening. So let's look at our mindset. I've got my little sheet here that I'm working from. I want you to stop and take a minute just to check in with your body. Just take a deep breath in and out, and then just feel it. What's it doing? Do you have heart palpitations? Are you sweaty and clammy? Are you perspiring more? Do you feel more anxious? Anything that's going on with your body, just check in and bring your awareness to it. How we respond is actually a choice. I know it doesn't feel like that, but we do get to choose how we think and how we respond to things. It's like if someone's I'll get into that a little bit more down the track. I won't. I just want to keep this one very light and very short. Just know that this is all going to pass. We're all in it together, so support anyone and everyone you can, because people are going to react very differently. Some people may not have the coping mechanisms to be able to control what they're actually going through, the physical aspects and the emotional aspects. And a lot of people, when they're under stress, will come out with anger. Particularly if they've not been taught how to control their emotions. You know, with children, for instance, you'll see this a lot. They don't understand what's happening to them, so they just get really angry. Adults can do the same if they've never learned how to express their emotions properly. There is plenty of opportunity and plenty to be grateful for. So when you take a step back and you start to see things differently, you'll actually see all the changes that are possible. And so for us in this group, I'm hoping it's going to be our health and well-being. I know I've already started to drop a little bit of weight, but I've also gone down to 2 meals a day instead of 3. I'm not as physical as I was. I don't feel I need 3 meals a day. That's just me personally. Because I'm not massaging, I'm usually very physical. I'm still walking into work and back, so that's given me a little bit of energy, but it's not used to the everyday exercise process that I was actually doing. We are all resourceful. I've been amazed at how, particularly some of the entrepreneurs around town, some of the business owners have just changed how they operate, and it's fantastic. We all have the ability to do that in whatever shape that may form, but just be aware that it's not going to last forever, and we can actually get through it okay. Now, everyone who's joined me is in this program for a reason, and I congratulate you for that, because this is a great time to do some self-healing, some self-awareness, and education about how you can improve mindset, particularly, and just come out of this with a different energy. It's quite important. So love yourself unconditionally. Sorry, I'm going to sneeze. No, it's gone. Love yourself unconditionally. Forgive yourself for however you're responding. You know, it's okay to be crying on the floor in the shower. Feel the emotion. Feel the insecurity. Feel it all. And then let it go. You know, just, I said in one of my earlier videos that I just didn't get out of my jammies for 2 days. For 2 days, I was like a zombie thinking, what am I going to do? It was, okay, I'm so used to being in work mode, and this, I guess, is part of my sanity, is passing my knowledge on to you, but also looking after my community. It's really important for me that you don't feel that I've just cut off and let you down. So after the storm comes peace. And that's, you know, I've been through so much trauma and drama throughout my life that one of the things I've always learnt is I'm always okay. I have such a strong belief that whatever happens, I'm going to be okay. And that has come out of some very dark areas. You know, I'm not going to get into what I've been into, but yeah, it's just something when you have that strong faith. So have some faith in something, that you'll always be okay. Once the storm has, sorry, I've got someone at the door, so I will finish this off because I'm almost finished. So once the storm's passed, you will find a different power within you, and that's absolutely fantastic. I'm not going to give you too much as action steps today because we're going to slowly go into this. I want everyone to take care of themselves. So the first one I'm going to give you is to breathe mindfully. I'm going to have a whole section on breathing, but just for this stage, all I want you to do is to focus on your breathing, and even if it's putting your hand on your heart, taking a deep breath in, deep breaths out, just be conscious of your breath and not to hold it. When we're under stress, we become very shallow and we hold our breath. So we still want all that beautiful oxygen and everything going around the body. So step number one is just to be aware of your breathing and allow to do some deep breaths and just let it relax. The other thing I want to go into is if you don't already practice gratitude, to start to practice. Be grateful for every little thing that you have, no matter what it is. I mean, sometimes you'll see some of the online groups. I have a little gratitude book, which again is going to be back to front. And in that, I just write things that I'm grateful for. So you can set up something like that. When you're under stress, you need to find some sort of routine that starts to, and I think that was the thing for me. I was so used to getting up, going to work. My water dropped off those 2 days. I virtually drank no water. And so therefore your stress levels go up, your mind goes fuzzy, and the whole thing starts to go round and round in circles. So you've got to get off that merry-go-round and start to look after yourself. So 2 things as action steps from today: breathe mindfully and be grateful. So start writing it down. If you can't utilize your mind, if it's too foggy and you're not thinking clearly and you're running around a bit like a zombie, like I was my first 2 days, it's going to be very difficult to do that. So start with your breathing, just slow things down a bit, and then if it helps you, write out 1 a day, 2 a day, however many you want a day, things that you're grateful for, and do it first thing in the morning. The reason for that is it sets you up for the day rather than do it at night. Okay, that's all I have. Lovely to have you in here. I'm looking forward to working with you. Any questions, just add it on to the post or send me a quick email. I'd love to touch base with you. Okay, bye.